Attention, all views and opinions expressed in this video and channel are for educational purposes only.
All right, so we're back. We're back, and new week, new Bella. Bella's still enjoying school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. For the most part.
Yeah, do you miss Dad?
Yeah.
Oh, you're lying.
No, I do miss you guys.
Okay, sure.
I miss Shari.
I knew it. And Barry, don't forget Barry. And
oh, yes, and Barry and Bertha and Beatrice.
Well, that's another story. Maybe I'll take some pictures of them and that way we can post them on YouTube, and maybe people will want to see, you know, Barry.
Maybe we can do a video with Stripes the cat.
Well, maybe.
Be a good idea.
I'm thinking about doing it in a different location, but that's another point. We'll talk about that at another time. All right, so what you got? I know I got a new studio, and I know I haven't told you about it yet. But anyway,
great, guys.
Yeah. So I got a new studio that I'm trying to build out maybe a little, and we'll see how that goes.
We'll see, guys. We'll see.
All right, so here we go.
Here we go.
We're still going to go with the same format. We're going to do one item and we're going to deep dive, right? Okay, what you got for today?
So, this big thing that we've both been harping on, if you look at our socials, if you've ever talked to the man himself, Chad Wade, at any of the shows or just emailed him whatsoever, his favorite word right now is compliance.
Well, I think everybody should be, man. I mean, it is one of those things that if you're not compliant now, man, I mean, like they literally are.
They are coming in.
And they're committed to it now.
They're coming to get you.
Yeah, they're going to take your business license, you know.
Where you insert the Bad Boys song.
Bad Boys, yeah. That'd be great. and flashing lights and shit.
Yes.
And so they were telling me in an email that they had found out that they no longer had a business license.
Oh.
And how they found out was the compliance officer of their local showed up and told them that they had to lock the doors. Everybody had to leave. And he says, well, I'm the business owner. She goes, there is no business here. You don't have a license. And it was all because he was busted twice with a regulated product, and so yeah, it was all flawed.
Yeah.
And they had told them they wasn't supposed to have it. They had a city ordinance. This guy did not comply. Apparently they'd been shopped, and they was busted. Didn't even know they was busted, and got shopped twice within a week.
How do you not know when you've been busted? Because I know from personal experience, they just come in and kick the things down and destroy.
I realized, but apparently
no paperwork, no nothing.
Apparently they had the paperwork and served him right there, and he had to go before the city council. He had to have a meeting with them. Ooh. And he was trying to prepare for it, and there really wasn't no preparation. But it seems to me that they can't just summarily cut you off, but they called him under a nuisance ordinance. And so here in Louisville, we do that as well. Under the nuisance ordinance, not only is your license taken away, you're blackballed. So you'd have to have a whole new LLC and everything before you could get a license.
Bro.
That'd be expensive.
That'd be awful.
So what do you got about compliance? What's up?
So pretty much compliance equals trust. That's the math equation here for today. We're going to go in math formulas, I feel like I'm doing nowadays. And pretty much customers want to buy from you if they feel like they're safe. So if they know the compliance things, like Florida, the biggest thing is being Florida compliant. Like brands are making whole lines for Florida.
Yeah, I've got Delta product now that's Florida compliant. It looks like it's going to be, there's 3 or 4 different states that are going to come under the same compliance laws.
Isn't that like that TKO one?
Yeah, I've smacked. It's like that. And so, yeah, we definitely have all that.
Yeah, we have all that at UNS Wholesale. You can either get Chad, Brandon, or Grover, and they will be grateful to help you.
Grateful.
What?
All right, go ahead.
Plug for the day for you.
Yeah, thanks.
See, he didn't even have to sell it. I should get the commission, guys.
I'd say you're getting a hell of a commission this year.
I think so too. I think I'm getting a good commission personally. But they want to feel safe buying from you. They also want to make sure that you're enforcing your age regulations. Please make sure you're doing that. Make sure you ID these people, because they're going to come in, they're going to bust open the doors, and you're going to be making a call for help to Chad Wade.
Go ahead.
Make sure that you have your visible signage and follow the law, please, because that updates your trust and also messes with your credibility if you don't. So kind of position yourself as the safe shop. If you know people in the area is selling what they're not supposed to be selling, your new identity for your marketing thing, you should put it in your bio. Your trusted neighborhood smoke shop. Why that, you ask? And that is because, one, you're going to do your ID checks. One, you have return policies. You're up to date on your health and safety notices. And those are the people that are going to stay around. The people that do not follow the law, obviously, as we've seen in the last coming months, they don't stay around. Is that true?
Fact.
So make sure, going back to staff training, make sure that they're confidently asking for IDs. Make this look professional. Don't be rude about it. Be like, hey, can I see your ID? Not be like, I need to see your ID or get out. Because your tone and voice is going to help a lot of people, right? And you know what? I don't care if you're 80 years old. Ask for the ID. Because you know what? That may make that 80-year-old's day be better because you ID'd him.
And if you want to piss a millennial off, you just give them the thumbs up.
It was doing the thumbs up thing a little bit ago, so I don't know why it's not. It'll do it at random times when I don't need it to. But just make sure that they're strict about these rules and consistent. Not when their buddy down the road that they know is under 21, but they come in there and be like, hey, bro, can I have a vape? No, bro, you cannot have a vape. Where's your 21 ID?
Yeah, right? I understand that.
You can't have these things if we don't follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, because that could be an undercover shopper, which we've known has happened a lot lately. And that you sell to it. Nowadays, what they're doing is whoever sells it and the business owner is going to jail.
Or they get written up for it and get a ticket. And there could be a lot of ways that could go sideways for everybody, though.
Exactly. And
but we are seeing more emphasis on the seller instead of the business, though.
Yes, I'm seeing both, but I don't know. It's going to depend.
I think it's going to be state to state, and it's also going to be on the cops involved. And so there could be a whole lot of issues there.
Exactly. And kind of turning compliance into content, you can post a thing as why we check every ID and make it this.
That makes for a great post. That makes for a great post.
Exactly. I know.
And it explains to the customer why they must show it.
Exactly. And what we do as a company and as a presence is that we update on new state, local regulations, and also national ones. Because when the feds come in and says, no, this 7-0 thing, I didn't want to say it just in case YouTube did it.
Oh, it don't matter. No, they're not having any problem. They're telling it all over the place that it's illegal.
Oh, whatever. So this
but it's not illegal everywhere. It's not illegal everywhere.
It's not, but they're going to come in on it. I've seen it, and it's going to happen. They've just had someone in Ohio they busted for 7-0.
Well, I just got off the phone with the guy you saw who I was talking to on the phone, and he was telling me there was a lot of shops in California getting busted with it too.
Yep.
But city to city, there's ordinances against it, and mainly because they don't want to shut down the methadone clinics, but that's not the point. But he said for real that was going on.
Yes. And that's happening. I can tell you probably about 30 minutes from here. There was one store that did get shut down because of it, because of their advertising. So that's their big thing is and the advertising I'm talking about is that exact same one, except probably worse. And I will tell you when we get off this. And it was all from a social media post because they printed, please people, don't print something stupid like this. They printed that same Instagram post and put it in their store. If you'd like to know what that is, you can hit me up at IKWMediaLLC@gmail.com and I will tell you what that is. And you can also hit up with marketing things and all that. We can talk about marketing.
You honestly, you should make no references on social media to anything that could be misconstrued as drugs.
Exactly. Like
Or
even when I
tobacco,
post
for that
news,
matter, or for tobacco for that matter.
when I post news, I'm very like strategic on like how the pictures are shown and what are the context in it. Like I've noticed that if I put it in the news background, that it won't flag. But if I did it in another format, it will flag. Because all we're doing is reporting. So it could honestly just be the like you're reporting news. That's it.
Well, I know that they took both of my YouTube channels because I was reporting the news. They literally took my YouTube channels for it.
Yep. But that was also back then. I don't think honestly nowadays looking back at it, I don't know if they would.
Well, I think it's because we have a new regime in town.
I would agree also, and we're kind of good on the free speech.
A little bit more freedom, if you will.
Exactly.
Freedom!
Let's go into some things that smoke shops fail upon and how you could be better. And so these things are messy displays, unclear pricing, underage sales. I'm really going to harp on that one because that is a big one that you can go and
everything.
Certain shops are known for it. If you understand, because I don't want to say something really odd here, but if you understand what type of shops do this, then you know what I'm talking about. Those are mainly the types of shops that they do underage sell at. And so you need to be different. And honestly, that could be another way that you could stand out behind it.
Are we talking about the usual suspects?
Yes.
Well, my watchers know who the usual suspects are.
The usual suspects.
Yes.
So those people, if you bet your money, if you go in, they probably know you by first name and they don't ever ID you.
Never.
And it's always my man.
So I was getting gas the other day, right? And one of the usual suspects was there, right? And clearly this person that walked in may not have been of age.
My age?
Or younger.
Oh, man!
And she was cute, but she was a kid, and the usual suspects are only looking at the female, not worrying about the age. And this
or they're looking at the cell and they don't care.
That's my real bet. Is what happened is right there. More work because they were just telling me it was slow.
So they don't care. They don't care about the cell. I would rather it be slow every day of the week and I'm still compliant.
Me too.
And let's just go into a little bit else. Another point of view is that like landlords, wholesalers, even banks would rather work with shops that don't create legal headaches.
Yep, because they now on your credit report tells about your legal history.
Exactly. And
they bet that you're going to default on loans because of your legal history if you have a background of going to jail or being non-compliant and in trouble.
Exactly. And so at this point, like, we already have enough problems with getting financing in this industry. Speaking of which, if you have some issues, I think Chad knows.
Yeah, Altura Funding can help you with that, and I will leave a video here at the end, and maybe you can check that out.
Speaking of which, just saying, little plug.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Good segue.
So, see what I'm doing here?
Okay, what else you got?
So really just talking about this in general, being compliant is going to protect you in the long term. So if you're just here to make a quick buck, see, look, people already calling in, want to place an order.
Not for me, but okay.
Well, you don't know. It could have been you. Who knows?
It probably was for me, but they get that up front and deal with it.
Well, we'll know if the door opens.
So
being compliant is going to protect you long term. So, I mean, if you're here to make a quick buck, okay, whatever, but you're playing business, you're not in business.
Well, if they're here to get
my favorite quote I've ever been told about someone said about you.
Yeah, okay.
Hate to say that he's not playing business, people.
Yeah, for sure.
Not for this long, is it? If he is, he's doing really well at playing.
Remind me to tell you, I got a comment the other day, speaking of which, I got a comment just the last couple of days on one of my shorts. It was Fat Chad, and this guy called me a blob.
I've seen worse.
Me too.
I've seen worse. I think the worst one for me was they called you a pink animal.
A hog? I don't care.
Called you Piggy, and they left like the little emojis next to it.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
That's great, man. That's really, it shows you a whole lot about the person.
Exactly. But anyway,
keyboard warrior, come on to the show. Come on to the show and talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Come on to the show.
We'll talk about it all day.
Well, for a few seconds. It won't take me long to convince you you're wrong. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's true. Well, just think about it in compliance is that it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Right.
If you think it's going to happen, pull it. If you think if you've gotten word down the street that if you got something in your store you're not supposed to have, but you want to sell it as long as you can, but you heard the shop down the street just got busted yesterday.
Maybe you shouldn't.
It did the thing.
What for?
I don't know because I did the thumbs up. I'm telling you, it never does it when I need it to. See, it's not going to do it for you.
I didn't get nothing.
I know. But you should pull it whenever, like, if you find out down the road that they pulled it yesterday and they've hit the store, pull it then. Because they're going to come in either that day or the next. Because what they're going to do
that day.
Probably that day, knowing how this works. Because we've had this issue happen before where they've hit the shop down the street and, y'all are all good friends, honestly. And they let you guys know, which is honestly hilarious as such a competitionist. Y'all are like,
we're not in competition. We're all neighborhood stores.
Exactly. And
I sell to all of them.
No, that's what's funny. And so if they let you know, hey, listen, they've come in, they've gotten this is what the warrant says. If you have anything, pull it out. Please listen to these people because these people are trying to help you. Don't be like, well, they're not coming to me. They're coming to you.
For sure. Maybe not. Maybe you don't even know they're coming. But they will.
And that's the thing. You never will know. What they'll do is they'll probably wait until about 11, 12 o'clock at night. And then it's good morning. And then they knock everything over and they're going to trash the place.
Yep.
So let's remove everything out of there so that when they trash the place, they're just mad because they can't find nothing.
They're mad and upset.
Yeah. If you can find that video, we can play it right here.
I'm not. I wouldn't do my editor that way.
That's pretty funny, though.
They might not get anything done watching it over and over again. Right?
No, do you still watch it 3 times a day?
3 times a day. Once in the morning, once during the day, and once at night.
If you'd like to know what that video is, you can hit them up at what?
Well, you just drop a comment down below, and if I see enough comments, I'll put it in there, man. I'll leave a link right there underneath it.
Good video.
Boom!
Anytime anyone in the house is mad and upset, that he plays
I turned it on, and then I turned the speakers up so everybody can hear it.
Yep, probably the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't care.
Anyways, okay, that's all I got. That's it.
All right, so thank you, Bella. I appreciate you doing
a long
this.
video.
A long video, 21 plus minutes. But I appreciate it. And
we love compliance.
All about compliance because compliance is important. And thank you for doing this. We will do this next week, I guess.
Yep, of course.
Okay, we'll do it next week, and that way you all have it, and we'll be seeing you then, right?
Yep.
All right. Thanks for everybody. Appreciate y'all coming in and watching. And remember, IKWMediaLLC at gmail.com should you need some help.
Oh, yeah. I'd be really helpful to help.
All right, y'all. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Hey, Chad Wade here. You need business funding? I got you, man. I got you. Altura Funding gets you term loans, lines of credit, 0% business credit cards for up to 18 months, and a tool that shows you every funding option you probably qualify for. All right? So no fees, no hard pull, 90 seconds to get pre-approved. Hit the link right now.